Hey guys, it's 2024 and most people are looking for ways to make more money online because the creator economy is in full swing. And even if you're older than 50 like me, there's no better time than now to get started. So in this video, I'm going to share 10 things that you need to get started online. And these are the same things that I've learned from my entrepreneurial journey of over 5 years of trying to make a living online using just the internet, guys. So first things first is you have to make a decision that you want to go ahead and get started earning money online. Guys, the decision is the biggest thing. You need your why. And the reason being is because it is going to be hard, especially if you've never done anything entrepreneurial. Because see, most of us, if you're a Gen Xer like me, come from a background where we are taught to go to school, get a job, and then let somebody else write our paycheck by just get us giving the time by punching a clock and then doing what they tell us to do. As an entrepreneur, when you become an entrepreneur and you decide to do a side gig from home or whatever it is that you're doing, I'm talking about using the internet to make money online because that's what I do and that's what I love. So when you do that, you're going to get started and you are not going to know anything. There is so much to know, and you're going to be a one man or one woman show, and you're going to have to do everything in your business to do marketing, whatever it is, whatever platform you use, whether it's blogging, you're going to have to write all the content, you're going to have to market, you're going to have to publish, you're going to have to learn how to monetize your content. You're basically stepping into a brand new world. But guys, I want you to know that regardless of however you get started, anytime you do something new, it's going to take time to learn it. Remember when we learned how to ride a bike? Learning how to ride a bike or drive a car. I remember the first time I was learning how to drive a stick shift. It was hard. I had no clue how to work the clutch and the gas at the same time, or the clutch and the brake. So it took a lot of practice, and eventually it became like second nature. I can now drive. Well, I haven't driven a stick in a long time. I probably would have to learn again, but I'm sure that learning how to ride or drive a stick would come back naturally because I learned it when I was younger. Well, the same thing goes for your entrepreneurial business that you're going to start, or your side gig, or whatever it is that you're starting in 2024 to make money from home. At first, you're going to be overwhelmed with all this stuff that you have to do. Guys, the only thing that you have to do is just get started. You don't have to invest a lot of money, and not in the stuff that I'm talking about. I'm talking about like an Etsy shop, a blog, a YouTube channel, anything online. These kind of businesses are really good to get started because you can go into it as a hobby, meaning that you continue working your job if you have a job, and then you do these outside of your 9 to 5 or whatever hours you work at a job. You can spend a little time on the weekends, after work or before work, and work on growing your side hustle. So you don't have to spend a lot of money up front, but you have to make the decision that you're going to do whatever it is that it takes to get started and to learn what you need to learn. Because guys, the great thing about that is there's a lot of information online for free. There's also courses, but I don't recommend spending a lot of money on courses up front because that's what I did when I first got started. I spent and spent and spent money. And guys, honestly, nowadays, there's information that you can find just by doing a little digging, looking up on YouTube. And then once you realize that you are going to pursue it and keep going, then at that point, if there's something that you really, really need to learn and you just don't have the time to go digging for the information, at that point, you'll know a little bit more about your niche, your topic that you're getting into, or the platform that you're getting started with. And at that point, if you want to spend a little bit of money, that's fine. But I don't recommend spending a lot of money up front until you know that you are going to continue doing it. And then number 2, guys, is to pick a niche. Now, what do I mean by a niche? So a niche, it's kind of like a topic if you think about it. So guys, so for like this video channel, guys, my video channel is talking to people who want to make more money, start a side gig, and it's geared towards people who are older than 50. I'm talking to the older crowd, the Gen Xers like me, because that's who I relate to, and that's who I want to target in this niche. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, you could target other mothers who are stay-at-home mothers and who homeschool their own kids. Or so find somebody that you can talk to, that you can relate to, and isn't such a huge audience. It may feel like you want to target everybody and talk to everybody, guys, but there's a saying that if you try to talk to everybody, you're not really talking to anybody. Guys, the fastest way to grow is to target and find your niche, your people. And when you start talking to your people, you can pretty much just talk or write or whatever it is you choose to do. I'm saying talk because that's what I'm doing right now. But regardless of whatever you do, you want to find somebody that you can relate to, and it's easier to target and write to those people. And when you put out content, regardless of whatever type of content it is, it's speaking to that individual because that you're actually talking and making content for that individual. So they'll be more likely to subscribe to your stuff, follow you. They're going to become a fan because you're talking to them and they relate to you. So you're helping them with their problems. So when you start whatever it is you're going to start, your side gig, make sure that you pick a niche and stick with that niche. And at first it's hard, guys. I'm not going to lie. I still have challenges staying in my niche. It feels like when I create content, I want to create content for everybody, but I need to realize that I am not creating content for everybody. I'm not talking to a 20-year-old or 30-year-old. I'm talking to somebody like me who is older in life but wants to make money from home because either they're behind on their retirement or they want an extra stream of income for when they get older, so they don't have to worry about not having enough, whether they want to retire or not retire. It doesn't matter. I'm talking to a Gen Xer just like me. So you need to realize that who you're talking to and speak to your audience. You're not talking to everybody. And number 3, guys, is pick one platform. I know this kind of sounds cliche because, like I said, in 2024, I'm focused on growing my YouTube channel and I'm focused on growing my Etsy shop. And guys, if you haven't stopped by my Etsy shop, I've got a link down in the description below. As I said, I have tons of financial spreadsheets that will help you with saving, budgeting, any type of money issues that you have. It is a work in progress and still growing, but you can support me by going to the Etsy shop and checking out my shop and just letting me know what you think about it. Let's get back to it. I was talking about picking one platform and sticking with it. And the reason being, guys, if you are new to websites, video editing, blogging, or whatever it is, social media, and you've never done any of this type of stuff, you want to pick one thing that you want to focus on that year and grow that one thing, because that thing is going to be very hard for you. For instance, when I started my blog back several years ago, I can't even tell you, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, before I even started blogging, a friend referred a customer of hers to me for helping them set up a WordPress blog. So she paid me to set up a WordPress blog for her. Very basic, very ugly website. To this day, I don't think it's up anymore. If it is, she got it redesigned because I didn't do a great job. But guys, it took me over 8 hours to set up a WordPress blog because back then there wasn't as many tutorials as there are now. The great thing is that today's era it's so easy to get started online because there's tons of information online that you can use for free to help you learn how to do things that you've never done before. And while that's a good thing, it can also be a bad thing because sometimes there's too much information that it can confuse you. And so that's why I'm saying stick with one thing, whether you're going to be blogging or making YouTube videos or learning how to do marketing on social media. Regardless of what you do, you need to pick one arena and stick with it and become an expert in that. And once you get more comfortable with that and you have a routine in place, then at that point you can kind of venture out and do other stuff. But if you are brand new, the worst thing you can try to do is grow 2 platforms at one time, because you're going to be spending a lot of your time trying to learn both those platforms. And trust me, learning a platform is very time consuming and can be frustrating because you have to learn the ins and outs of how things work. So for instance, when you do WordPress, there's a lot to learn. Sure, you don't have to know the language like JavaScript or PHP or anything to work WordPress, but you do have to learn about themes, plugins, how to write a blog post, how to publish a blog post, how to set up your settings. There's a lot to learn. So when you're trying to learn a particular platform and then you go and try to learn another platform, you're kind of spinning your wheels because you're not spending enough time on one particular platform to learn the ins and outs. So if you have a job, I recommend starting with one platform and really just spending a whole year learning that. And then at that point, once you get that platform, you learn the ins and outs. At that point, once you start gaining some profit or you start learning how to do that platform and it doesn't take you as long as it used to, then at that point you can consider branching out. But trying to learn two platforms at one time is just going to frustrate you, and it's going to take your learning curve a lot longer, and it's going to take you a lot longer to monetize and be able to earn some money. Because guys, the faster you can learn something and actually start learning how to do the ins and outs of something, and the faster you make money, the more motivated you're going to be. So number 4, guys, is to set a goal. And I don't want you to set a money goal. See, one of the things that I used to do when I first started was I used to set a money goal. But then I heard a YouTuber online a long time ago. I don't remember what his name was, but I watched his YouTube video about how much money he made in his first year on YouTube. And what I didn't realize was that he had been doing YouTube videos for quite a while, but it took him a long time to monetize because he didn't know anything about monetizing. So when he started monetizing, he'd already been creating videos for several years. And so he was able to monetize as soon as he learned about it. So one of the things he said in there is to start a YouTube channel and just create one video a week. And if you did that for 10 years, in 10 years, you will have a following, you will be making money. And at that point, you will be good. Your videos will be good enough to where you're actually helping people and people will be following you because they enjoy your videos. So that really got me to thinking that instead of setting a monetization goal, why not set an action goal? And what I mean by an action goal is that for my YouTube channel, my action goal is to create at least one video a week. So it doesn't say anything about monetizing because I have no control of how long it will take me to be able to monetize this YouTube channel. So that's my goal with this YouTube channel, is just to create one YouTube video a week. So instead of setting a monetization goal for your first year, what I want you to do is to set an action goal. And what I mean by that is, if you start a blog, let's just say you decide you like writing and you want to start a blog. So if you start a blog, instead of saying that I want to be monetized with ads so that I can start making money in the first year, instead of doing that, why not set an action goal of writing one blog post a week or 2 blog posts a week or whatever it is? Make some type of action goal that helps you reach your goal. Because if you take the actions every week and you're consistent and doing something towards your goal every week, eventually the money will come. It's just you can't put a time limit on how long it's going to take you to monetize and start making money. And the minute that you start putting a time limit on your goals is when you start getting frustrated, because you set a limit that you want to be monetized in 6 months, and in 6 months comes, you're still not monetized. You're thinking that it's not going to work. So you stop working on your goals because you figure, why? It's not going to happen anyway. And then number 5, guys, is to do something every day towards your goals. Guys, when you are starting a business, it takes a lot. Yes, eventually this becomes a passive, semi-passive business where when you do the work up front, eventually whatever it is that you do starts making money, but it doesn't happen for a long time. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're constantly doing something to keep growing your business. So you have to think like a business owner. The only way you're going to grow your business is to do something every day to make it grow. And when I'm saying do something every day, I'm talking about taking action. I'm not talking about reading something or just filling your head with knowledge, because guys, while it's great to learn and read about stuff, how to do stuff, action is what's going to move your business forward and make your hobby turn into a full-time business, which is probably what you want if you're watching this video. And number 6, guys, is don't focus on the money. Just focus on helping your audience. Now, I know we all do these side gigs to make money. We all want to make money. I'm not going to lie. I love making money. I love getting those paychecks every month from different places because it's just nice. And knowing that you don't have to go to a job and earn money, that you can set something up and the money comes in eventually. But when you're starting out, you're not going to see the money right away. Yes, you might have heard some stories about how people made money in 30 days and now they're making tons of money from their online gig. Guys, most people don't start out like that. It takes a lot of hustle and grind to be able to make money online. And while I've never been fortunate enough to make money really quick, it has taken me a ton of hard work to get to where I'm at. And I remember when I started my first blog, which was a blog about pugs, I worked my ass off. I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I worked 10, 12-hour days. And then I think that blog, I did manage to get monetized in like 6 months. But back then, Mediavine, which is one of the ad display networks that I use on that site, had a lower entrance barrier point. And now it's a lot harder to get into those ad networks because they've raised the entrance points. It doesn't mean that you can't get in. It just means that it's probably going to take you a little longer. It doesn't matter whatever it is you're doing. It's going to take you a little longer to get to that point of learning that platform and learning how to do your business. So I don't want you to focus on the money, because if you start focusing on the money, it's just going to be a little depressing to know that you're putting in all this hard work up front and you're not making anything. That's how it is when you start an online business. You put in all this work up front, but that's okay, because eventually the work that you put in up front will reap some rewards and your efforts are well worth it. So just keep grinding and do whatever it is that you need to do, but just don't focus on the money up front, because it's not going to happen for a while. And then number 7, guys, is don't compare yourself to others. Guys, trust me, it's so easy to compare your journey to somebody else's, especially if you're working so hard and you're not seeing the results that you want. What I want to tell you is that everybody's journey is different. For instance, like when I started, it took me years to get to a point where I knew what I was doing and I actually started making money. And I would always read on several Facebook groups how so-and-so had been doing it for a year. It was their first blog. And then all of a sudden they're making all this money. And I had started several blogs, several blogs had failed and didn't have any success until maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, when I started making some money, and then it kind of started gradually increasing from there. Guys, I compared myself to so many people. There were days when sometimes I would just be in tears wondering, what am I doing wrong? Why is success not happening for me when everybody else seems to have success so much easier? Everybody's journey is different, and you can't compare yourself to anybody else. I know it's hard. We all want to seek success as quickly as possible. We all want the money to come in the minute that we start this business. But guys, I'm telling you, just enjoy the journey. It doesn't matter if it takes you 5 years or 10 years to succeed. As I said, as long as you're doing something every day to reach your goals and you're taking action, eventually the money will come. And the time is going to pass. Whether it takes you 5 years or 10 years, the time is going to pass. You might as well do something that's going to help you and your family out and be able to help you catch up with retirement, or just produce extra money so that you can take care of your future self. Number 8, guys, is to pay attention to your analytics. I've never been a huge fan of analytics, especially in the past when I was blogging. I would just sit down and I'd write content, and that's it. I figured I'd put out content every day and that was it. With this YouTube channel, I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm focusing more on my analytics and trying to create content that I know that you guys are going to like. So for instance, when I was creating my income reports, I noticed that when I published them, they didn't get a lot of views or a lot of attention. So it was kind of a waste of my time to even create those. So I stopped. And so now I'm focusing more on side gig information because I've noticed that these kind of videos do get more attention than others. So with me being 50, one of the reasons that I've stopped doing blogging is because I overworked myself because I was just constantly putting out content and not really paying attention to the analytics. Well, with YouTube, I'm doing it different. I don't mind making these YouTube videos, but guys, I want to make sure that my time and effort is put to good use. So I'm paying more attention to the analytics and trying to create content that I know that is going to actually help my channel grow. If you Regardless of what you're doing, you have to make sure that you're creating content for your audience. Pay attention. Some content is going to be hit and miss, and that's fine. We all create content that's complete duds, and that's fine. But as long as you're not continually creating content that never hits, you'll be okay. But if you find yourself creating content and some content grabs more attention to your audience, then you want to be able to pivot and create more content that people enjoy. Because if you're constantly creating content, you're going to feel like a hamster on a wheel where you're constantly putting out content and nobody cares about what you're saying. And guys, content creators, regardless of what anybody says, is hard work and takes a lot of time and effort. So make sure that you're paying attention to analytics and follow what's working and what isn't. Even if you have to pivot, and most of us don't always want to pivot, we tend to want to just always stay in our lane and create content that we think is going to be helpful. But guys, we're not creating content for ourselves. We're creating content to help our audience. And your audience will let you know what's working and what isn't. But you just got to pay attention to the analytics. And number 10, guys, is to never give up on your dreams. Guys, being a content creator and starting a side gig to earn money from home is just one of the best things that I've ever done, but also one of the hardest things that I've ever done. As I mentioned, I've been doing this for a long time, and it took a long time for me to actually see any type of success. And I am pivoting again because I am tired of blogging. So I'm doing YouTube and I'm doing Etsy, and who knows what else I'll do in the near future. But right now, those are my two platforms that I'm working on. And I just want you to know. So basically, I am starting from scratch, just like you guys. And I want you to know that it is a lot of hard work. But the great thing is that if anybody else can do it, you can do it too. I read in a personal development book, I don't remember the name of the book, but it said, if somebody else is doing something in your niche, then there's no reason that you can't do it too. You just have to find out what they're doing that's working for them, and then kind of not steal their content, but kind of see what you can do in the same way, but do it better. So guys, you just have to pay attention to what other people are doing and then see how you can do it better and do it for you. And I want you to know that it is going to take a lot of time and effort on your part. But the great thing is that if you are consistent and you keep doing and you keep learning and you keep taking action towards your goals, eventually you will make some money. How much you make, I don't know. It just depends on what you're doing, how you're doing it. But the great thing is, guys, there are tons of people making money online. Most of them are younger, yes, but if it's working for them, then it can work for us. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know starting a side gig can be completely confusing. It can just make you think that you just don't have what it takes to get started. But I'm telling you, if anybody else can do it, if these younger kids can do it, we can do it too. Yes, it might be a little bit harder for us because we didn't grow up in the internet age and we don't spend tons of time on social media. But if I can do it, I know you can do it. As I said, it took me forever, but it might not take you forever. Things are different now. There's tons of tutorials online that will help you get started. The important part is just to get started. You're never going to change your finances or be able to catch up for retirement or whatever it is that you're looking for to make extra money from home. You're not going to be able to do it if you don't take action. So anyway, let me know in the comments below, are you going to be taking action to start your own side gig in 2024? And if so, let me know what you're going to be starting. I want to know. I love talking side gigs. I just love it. I just think there's no better way and no easier way to earn money from home. And we live in such a great era where we all can become content creators. And the great thing is you don't need a huge audience. You just need a small sliver of the internet where you can do your own thing and you can make a great income from home. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can be notified whenever I put out a new video. And until then, I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.